Okay, hey everybody. So for the careers class today, 186. So I can keep the videos all straight when I edit them. But anyway, for the careers class today, one of the things we have to start looking at is cost, right? Now, not so much as in the dollars, although that's important and we'll get to that, but we have to start looking at time, right? Because all we really do is exchange money for time, right? Because that's all any of us do, is our time that we give to perform a certain task or function or whatever, for our time. So we just exchange money for time, right? It's a very simple process. But what you have to look at is how much are you getting paid for that time frame, right? Now, you have jobs and you get, $12, $15, $18 an hour. Great. Okay, so you know how much you're getting for a certain time frame. You're getting so many dollars an hour. Excuse me. But for the photographer, right? How much time do you have invested? Right? How much time do you have invested? So, we have to start doing a cost breakdown. Right? We have to start doing a cost breakdown and really see where we stand. Because the problem has become that you have two jobs now. Well, you actually have more than that. But back when we shot film, right, we took our film to the photo lab. And the photo lab handled all the processing and handled all the printing. So now you have to do that job as the digital photographer, unless you employ somebody, but that's expensive. So you have to take all the digital images once you're done, save them, back them up, organize them, throw out the bad ones, and then maybe do some editing on them. If you're shooting raw, you have to process them. You may need to do a little color correcting or a little brightening, a little darkening, a little color saturation, a variety of things, right? Then you have to present those mostly finished images to your client. So we get into this whole idea of, now we have to get the job, right? We have to advertise, right? We have to get the job. We have to sell the job. We have to shoot the job. And we have to deliver the job. So you have, TISE, advertise, right? Advertise, get the job, sell the job, right? So all this stuff involves time, right? How much? I don't know. How good are you? How fast are you at processing your images? How fast are you at selling? How good are you at collecting the payments for the job? Right? All those things add up and can eat away at your time. Right? So, hopefully you got that. I can erase this. Right? So when we start looking at doing a cost analysis, you have to know what your costs are. So here's what I want you to do. A couple of different homework things for you guys to do. All right, I want you to take a $2,500 wedding. Okay? and I want you to do a breakdown. I want you to write down in terms of time, hours. Okay? So you hold that thought. I'll be back. Okay, we had somebody come to the door, so I had to stop for a second. So what I want you to do is take a look at this, a $2,500 wedding. So, you know, it's middle of the road, maybe slightly higher. I don't know what prices are going for these days. What you need to do is look at all the time that you have into generating that much money. Okay. So you talked to bride. Okay. Then you sold to the bride and groom. So how long did you talk for? How long did it take you to sell? Right? What's your prep time? Right? You're going to do an engagement shoot. Something like that, a pre-wedding shoot. Your prep time to get your cameras and everything ready. You know, the day of. Are you going to the rehearsal dinner? I would suggest you do, so you get to know people. You don't have to stay long, you don't have to take many pictures, a few, but you get to know people at the rehearsal dinner. Then you have the day of the wedding. You have the reception, how long is that going to be? Right? Then you have your backup. Right? Then you start, your process of editing. Right? Then you have to present to the bride and groom. Then you have to do the order. Right? The order of your prints or your book. Then you have to deliver. So in here you've got to put all your time. You got to put your drive time, if you're driving to the wedding, if you're driving to the reception, if you're driving to the rehearsal dinner. You have to do a cost breakdown of how much time you have involved in this entire process. So that's what I want you to do. Take a $2,500 wedding and assign a time value to everything you can think of. Writing up the bill. I used to always put in a half hour of administrative time in almost every single one of my invoices. Right? You have to look up the job. How much have they paid me? Have they given me a down payment or a deposit or whatever, right? How much is left? Put that in the bill, right? You have a lot of time. How long does it take you to do your backups? Right? And how many copies are you going to make of the backups? I would suggest 2. Right? 2 separate external hard drives. Plus you keep the memory cards until you deliver the job. Then you can reformat the memory cards. Right? So you have to look at all this stuff. What is your time involved? And then divide how many hours you have into it into 2,500 and how much are you making an hour. Wait, but you're not done yet. After you divide that out, remember, you have to take about 30% for taxes. Right? And then what's your final hourly rate? Okay, so that's your job, right? Is to do a cost breakdown of a wedding. Everything you can think of. Okay? So good luck with that. Get the calculator out and try and figure it out. When you're done with that, okay, I have one more thing for you to do, since we're talking a lot about money and time on this assignment. You have one more job to do, and that's how much does it cost to drive IT. Drive a car per month, right? So that's car payment, if you're making one, insurance, right? You can get this down to a mile if you want. If you know you drive 1,000 miles a month, right? Gasoline, which has gone up rather dramatically in the last 2 weeks. I wonder why. Oil, do an oil change. How much does it cost you to drive a car, say, for a month or 2 months or something like that? Break it down. Right? Maintenance costs. You have to figure all of that in so that you have an idea where your money is going. So car payment, insurance, maintenance, gasoline, tires, brakes, shocks, whatever. You have to do maintenance. You'd be surprised how much it costs for you to drive a car per mile or per month, or divide it by 30 per day. Do that. How much does it cost you to drive the car per day? So if you want to take a year's worth of expenses and divide it by 365, great. That might be the best way to do it. Or if you take a year's worth of expenses and divide it by 12 per month. Okay? So get some kind of an idea how much that really costs you to drive a car for a month, for a week, for a day. Right? Do your homework, ask questions, see what it really costs. Okay, so 2 things. Break down a $2,500 wedding, that's how much time you have involved, and how much does it cost you to drive a car. Pick one, per month, per day, per week, right? Pick one. Okay, I don't care, as long as you do the cost breakdown and figure out how much money you have into a vehicle, right? So if you're going to do it for a year, you're going to drive 30,000 miles, whether you have 3 oil changes, 10,000 miles of oil change, maybe a little bit more. So do the homework, write it down, figure it out. Okay? All right, cool. See you next week. Okay, bye.